Hello and welcome to the EPROM 9. Tonight is going to be a Turrican review. And while I was at home, I got myself an SNES emulator. Being at university, I cannot afford to keep buying stuff. Plus, it would be one of those things that end up ridiculously expensive, because if you do research, the games are not only rare and hard to find, they're also goddamn expensive. Now that's the wrong format for where we live, but it doesn't really matter because it's on a computer. So it doesn't really... Shall you see the intro? Well, really it's just kind of machine. Apparently that's a quote off... What is it? Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. Easter egg to that. Look, that's that. I've seen the modern film. Oh yeah, you'll also notice the better sound, which I'll turn down. That's because I found, well, my scavenged speakers when I went home at the weekend. Well, I say speakers, speaker. The other one got smashed up. The other one, and there's a story behind that, but I can't be asked to go into it. I have the speaker bit for it, whether it works I don't know. But anyway, this is, bloody hell, 1 minute over already. This is going to be done like I did Turrican 2, sod that. And this is Super Turrican, the first one, and I have got the other one. I haven't bothered downloading the NES stuff yet. Yes, NES, because it's... Oh shit, it's gone into the intro again. Oh, yes, oh, bugger off. No, oh god. Yes, this is... Okay, so I did try configuring the controls to myself to less arthritis-inducing positions, but that didn't work out too well. I did try, but the trouble is in the midst of combat, this happens. I hit the Windows button by accident, and the game carries on running without you being able to see it. And also the emulator is glitchy at points, but actually, considerably, the emulator is better than I expected it to be. I expected them to be, well, I don't really know what to expect, because I've never really used emulators before. Now, there is a Mega Drive version of Turrican 3, which is like Mega Turrican. I do want to get that. The trouble is with this game, what can I really say that I haven't already said about Turrican? I've added some interesting, as well as just graphical enhancements. The great line thing of death is no longer the line thing of death. It kind of freezes things into this, like, grey ice cube thing. It's a bit awkward to use with these arthritis-inducing controls, and, well, my selections weren't much better. It especially doesn't help that I don't know the SNES is a joypad, because I don't have one, and I don't reckon I'll have one for at least a long time, because, well, yeah, I'm a computer collector rather than console collector. Doesn't mean consoles aren't worth collecting, it's just kind of bollocks, kind of not really what I want. Anyway, computers. Yes. But anyway, back to actually going on about the game rather than just aimless rambling, but I do specialise in aimless rambling. I am hoping this video will actually get views. My last Turrican ones did, so I'm hoping they will here. I haven't worked out why game videos seem to be so ambiguous on the amount of views they get. Some get next to none, like the latest two I've done, like my Half-Life levels and that. Why is it no one seems really interested, yet they subscribe to one that does game reviews? It's like, what do they want? Mind you, mine aren't really reviews though, they're just kind of me rambling about shit, because that's what I do. And if you really want to hear me speak absolute tripe, you need to hear me when I'm in the car driving. I just The driving basically unjuices my load of torque tripe mode, basically. Now this is supposed to be a review, but I don't think review might attract more viewers, so it can certainly be in the title. But I can't really say any more, other than the spiky ball of death is no longer the spiky ball. It's kind of the spiky oven fan of death, because that's what it looks like, an oven fan. These things look less robotic and more like little cute eye things. They look like fish eyes, and well, I used to and still do enjoy dissecting fish eyes at the dinner table, despite it being completely inappropriate. Doesn't stop it being fun. Now, because we haven't got stereo sound, this is stereo encoded, we don't get the noise from this end very loud, but this end we do. Oh crap, I don't want to blow that up because then I can't get up there, because you can't jump as high, which is a disadvantage. You can also run out a spiky ball of death permanently, or spiky oven fan of death permanently, if you're not careful. Because it isn't really spiky ball, it's spiky oven fan. Oh yeah, you can also still drop mines and shit, which is, well, as expected. The freezing element, I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage, it's certainly an interesting gameplay element they've added. I'm not sure how this fits into the major story. It's a nice sprite scaling there. Although they always go pixelated with sprite scaling, which is the only problem. If you're going to sprite scale, you should really increase the resolution of the sprite. It's not the hardest boss to beat ever, but that's not the point of it. Anyway, with the bandwidth here, uploading's no longer the problem. It's compiling that takes forever. But hey, sod it, I've done enough work for today, I'm having fun. Oh dear. Right, I've got that back. And as you can see, I am loving this game. I prefer it to the other one. What's the other one on the SNES? It's like Super Turrican 2. It's good, but it's not as Turrican-y. They've changed a lot of gameplay elements in how it runs. They haven't ruined it, they've just pretty much created a completely different game called Turrican. Oh yeah, these are the snot monsters. If you can think of what they're actually called, do inform me, it'd be quite interesting to know. But for now they're called the snot monsters, because they remind me of snot. Oh goody health, I need that. I like health. Might as well gain what we can out of these now. I mean, this one I have to say is just awesome because it has the kind of original Turrican feel. They've just given it nicer, more enhanced graphics, to be frankly honest. It just looks nicer. Although I did prefer Spiky Ball of Death compared to Oven Fan of Death. And the line thing is certainly an interesting addition. It adds an interesting new strategies to it and refreshes old thingies. There you go, bit of reviewing. There are some. What are the negatives of the game? Well, negatives of the game, I haven't really... Oh yeah, the time limit. The time limit is quite vicious on it, which does piss me off because, as you probably know by now, I hate time limits with a passion, just as Jim plays games does, and anyone who basically likes to enjoy a nice relaxing game sesh. I don't like to be rushed, I like to take my time in levels, explore. I mean, for God's sake, Half-Life, you've got to stare at the computers for an hour or two and then pick them up and just with a gravity gun and shoot them around and stuff. I mean, for God's sake, I actually made in Half-Life 2 outside of any level editor an IT tech support in City 17 when you go through the abandoned offices which are just filled with combines. Yes, I am geeky enough to make a mock IT tech support. That's what I did. This sticks to the usual thing of unique enemies to the levels and stuff. usual sort of lovely. Lots of lives hidden around. The levels are probably more linear on this, but they do still continue true to the original. But don't get me wrong, Turrican 2 on this is not a bad game, it's just not as good. I prefer the original sort of style Turrican that made this. The weird thing is with Turrican is it's one of them games that is so overlooked and yet so awesome. How could like the gaming community have completely missed such a gem? It's just filled with awesomeness. We're going to have to change cards in a bit. Now there's a life from here that I want, because lives are valuable. Maybe it'll be nice to actually complete this game. It seems easier than Turrican 2, but I've been playing these Turrican games for a bit now, which is kind of fun. We shall see. Okay, we've got barely any. Basically, you'll see this in the next level. I must not screw this up. There we go. So I did it without dying, with enough time for you to see the next level. Okay, welcome back. I would like to show you the behind the scenes way of how I do it, but I'm not, because I don't have memory cards. But you get the idea of how it's done. That's the first video for editing of compiling. Now we go back, and excellently, computer monitor has run. And now we go back to escape, and we're on the next level. Well, for you it will seem like instant transition. Now, for those of you who might actually bother on worrying, I have not switched to using emulators over the real thing, because I still prefer the real thing. But emulators seem to have their advantages, and I don't have overly biased opinions of everything as some people do. I don't think emulators evil. I just think emulators, useful tool, I could use one of those. And this is my first time really using one. And it even has save features which I haven't utilised yet. Maybe I shall. Might as well. Some might call it cheating, but who gives a rat's arse? It's not like I'm playing in a competition, so it actually matters. Mind you, who will really take a gaming competition that seriously? Games are just for fun and messing around. Games are just for enjoying yourself. It's not about competing with people and that. It's just kind of about who can just be awesome. Who can just have the most fun. That's what it's all about. Some people might be outraged to hear that. Oh well, there are worse things in life, such as lack of computers, or, as I have read on the news, people have been having trouble with their Blackberries. Sounds fun. These flying robot things are quite cool. I'd like one of them. Sadly, it's all sci-fi, until I invent it, or someone else does, whoever gets to it first. Mind you, my programming skills, I don't think I'll get to it anytime soon. That's the trouble with being so crap a program. Oh god, I'm going to die in a bit. There we go, I died. Oh well. That's part of the fun of the game. That's what makes it challenging. Got through Turrican 2. Turrican 1 though is harder than Turrican 2, I can tell you that from playing it for a fact. Also, you may notice the music on this if you listen. It is a remix of the first tune on Turrican 2, which I do so love very much. There's also an advantage in having a proper speaker. I can actually listen to my music without tinny sound, because I don't know how well it will come through on the computer, but I can give you a comparison, or there's no need. If you want a comparison, just watch my other videos that involves the use of the computer in a review. Now I'm watching the screen that the camera is. I don't know why, I just am. There's no reason, okay? Now it's back to my laptop screen. Whee! Okay, these bastards are getting annoying. And now they're gone, which is good. Until they're reincarnated in the next playthrough. This is the trouble with this bloody arthritis-inducing control system. It's not the keyboard's fault. This, because the SNES isn't Atari, they use proper joypads, you know, like the PlayStation do and that, and Xbox 360. And we have no fanboy crap over the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Because let's be honest, if the PlayStation had have managed to beat the Xbox 360 to the market, everyone would be using PlayStation 3 because they had established themselves. Sadly, they let Microsoft get a gap in the market, so they lost their target, basically. They lost it and let Xbox 360 establish itself, so then the fanboys kick in. And fanboying is just, well, complete bullshit if you ask me. I look at things with all their merits and disadvantages. Stop being biased. Personally, I would probably prefer to PS3, but they are probably too expensive for me, to be honest. They are rather on the expensive side, and I have an Xbox 360 now, so what is the sodding point to get a console, which you can already... It's like, kind of... What's the point in getting something that you can already play the same games on? Just for a few minor enhancements. Although it'd be nice if in modern games it actually worked on the AI. It's quite funny actually, if you look at this in realism in terms of it, it's like this is years after Turrican 2, as far as I know. They've worked on technology. Technology has evolved slightly, so they've hit the limits of technology. But their implements of AI are just still non-existent many hundreds of years, even thousands of years later. Also, another thing I've noticed with these Turrican games, you never actually seem to fight the machine himself, only like his big bad robot bosses and stuff. There we go, take out the cool skeleton thing. There we go, it's problem solved. Now we get a life. If we make it there alive, of course. Which we shall, because I'm awesome. Okay, maybe there's a bit of my head maybe expanding in size there. But who gives a shit? This is fun. Sorry it's not as mad as Turrican 2, but I'm just not kind of in this sort of absolute insaneness mood. Despite being utterly insane. How are we doing on time? Because I don't have a clue. I'm just kind of enjoying myself. We got not an amazing amount of time left before I have to redo. I do want to show you the bit with rusty penises though in the factory. You'll see what I mean, if you haven't already worked out what I'm referring to. What's that play? Oh, see what I mean about bastard time limit? I haven't even been faffing around. This is why I don't like time limits, because for no reason you just get killed. Time limits are the ultimate, in fact mega, in just being an absolute wank stain arsehole. Why did developers implement them? At least in the Hurricane mod, the time limit is just redundant because it just refreshes itself when you collect crystals. So you just collect crystals and voila, you'll be fine. You can faff around, stare at computers all you want, although there aren't really any computers there. That has to be the easiest. The bosses on this are really easy. If you want a challenge from the bosses, you'll be disappointed. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing that they're really easy or not. There we go, now we're getting to the factory, and, well, I need a Wii. So I might have to pause this to have a Wii. Actually, I'll just wait till the camera runs out and then have a Wii. Why am I telling you the actions of what my bladder wants? I do not know, but this is the thing about this channel. There we go, and the only thing is, you look at the background, it's quite a weird background for a factory. It's just loads of steam pipes. It doesn't really work with the high-tech look of the factory. And I'm pressing the wrong button to shoot. There we go. This is what I mean about screw. This would really benefit from an actual proper joypad. This would really benefit from that. I'll show you the robot, the rusty penises that violate you to kill you when we reach them. Yes, they actually rape you to kill you. It's quite, well, I'm not sure how to really describe it really. There we go, nice production machine out of action. And there we go. The rusty penises. See what I mean? I certain developers put things in like that on purpose. So in other words, to kill you, they violate you. Nice. The only thing isn't explained in the actual game, as far as I know, is whether the actual character you're playing is gay and whether they actually end up giving you a health benefit. No means to be any kind of prejudice there, that's just a joke in case I do actually offend people who think I'm actually being a bigotry cock. No, it's called a joke, for those who can't take jokes. People who can't take jokes are no fun. Actually they are, because they just get annoyed by it and that's funny as well.